Hello, and welcome back to Bits and Bobs. In today's video, we'll be discussing the life and legacy of King George VI. King George VI was born son to Prince George, who would later become George V, and his son would later become King George VI. Here we see the wife of George V and the mother of George VI, Queen Mary of Teck. The two were happily married and would go on to have lots of children during their time. The second of those children being Prince George, who would later become George VI, who was born on the 14th of December 1895. So King George VI was born during Queen Victoria's reign, his great-grandmother. As I have already said, King George VI was the second-born son to George V, and he had 5 siblings, making 6 children in total of George V. George V's oldest son was King or Prince at the time, Edward. The then Prince George had a very good education, and when it came time for him to go to college, he went to the Royal Navy College in London, and during the First World War he served in the Royal Navy, fighting alongside other soldiers, helping to win the war. And in the latter part of World War I, George VI also joined the Royal Air Force, a new wing of military efforts during the time. After the war in 1920, Prince George was made the Duke of York, a title which he held until 1936. Also in the 20s, in 1923, George VI married. He married the woman we know today as Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother. The Queen Mother was born in 1900 and died in 2001, meaning she lived for over 100 years, and throughout this time she was an adored figure by the public and the royal family alike. Her and George VI had 2 children, the first being Queen Elizabeth II, or of course at the time Princess Elizabeth, who would go on to be Queen, and her sister, the second-born child of George VI, Princess Margaret, who we see here on screen. During the 1930s, Prince George spent a lot of time with his family at home. He also saw a speech therapist to help remove his stutter, which he was almost fully successful in, and it was very hard to tell he had a stutter by the end of these sessions. He was also training, of course, to become king, as he was next in line. In fact, in 1936, when his father died, Prince Edward became King Edward VIII and was ruler of the British Commonwealth and Empire at the time. However, he abdicated only 10 months into his reign, meaning that the throne would have to be passed on. Who would it be passed on to? Well, the next in line, of course, which was George VI. George VI took the throne on the 11th of December 1936, the same year that his father had died, his brother having abdicated only 10 months into the reign. Now, right at the start of George VI's reign, only 2.5 years in, he declared war on Germany. He had personally fought in World War I, and now he had just started World War II. And now only time would tell. Would it be harder to fight in a war, or to lead the country in a war to victory? Working closely with Prime Minister at the time, Winston Churchill, both giving their all to the cause, the war seemed to be going successfully at the start. George VI was also very happy to be very popular at the time, with people in the army, the soldiers, saying "for king and country" is why they were fighting. So his name was proud among the soldiers, and he did his best and gave his all for the country. And it paid off, as in 1945, the British Empire was successful among the Allies in winning World War II. And he'd also made a new friend during this time, Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister. They became close friends because of their close contact during World War II. However, World War II had taken a physical toll on King George VI, and he was not as healthy as he was before. He made less public appearances in the few years after the war, but still did his absolute best to serve his family and his country during these years. And on the 6th of February 1952, he passed away in his sleep, meaning that his eldest daughter, Queen Elizabeth II, took the throne on the 6th of February 1952. So there we go, that's the life and legacy of King George VI. Please do subscribe to the channel if you have learnt something, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Bits and Bobs.